Yo, what's going on? We're back.
Are we live?
We're live. I guess this is
Shit.
okay for now. I don't want to get
Yeah, I would leave that on.
too hot.
Yeah, no.
Leave this open for Cat Bro. So what's going on, guys? We live?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Cool. All right, guys, we're gonna get started here. The live stream. We got some big news. I didn't even really tell Jay much about it.
I don't know anything.
It's gonna be good. We're gonna have a good surprise. Well, it's basically what we're doing anyway. But I figured I'm thinking a lot about the channel and a new format that would be cool.
Yo, what up, Will?
We've been talking about. Oh, Will, what's up, dude? But welcome
Coop.
to 44 Coin Live. We got all the Task fam showing up. I'm just gonna make sure the audio is good. Yeah, so we're just getting set up to do something a little bit different. Well, pretty much the same thing we're doing all the time. But it's good to be back. Sorry, I was on vacation again in Scotland, and you had some stuff going on too, right? I saw
Yeah.
like a little. That was good that you gave him an update.
Yeah, I was working like fuck last week. Ridiculous.
What were you up to?
Everything.
Oh, Cat Bro.
Everything. Did a couple of days plumbing up in Caro.
Oh damn.
And,
Yo, bro. You gotta back up, bro.
I have no idea what he just did.
You're still good.
Had to repair a sprinkler system and do a bunch of electrical work and yeah, tons of things.
Weird.
Very busy.
Cool. I
Very
mean, is it
busy
good?
time.
Is it a good busy or is it like?
Yeah, it's a good busy. My July nut is basically paid for at this point, so
Nice, man.
and it's still June, so that's good.
I can't. For some reason, I can't get a feed here. Oh, there we go. Should be good now.
But yeah,
Cool.
I also spent time trying to catch up on backlog and shit.
Backlog of amps and
Oh
stuff.
god, I'm so backlogged on everything. It's ridiculous.
Nice, dude. Perfect. How did you do that? Oh, you can see it.
Yeah, there's a viewfinder. I'm not that good. Yeah, no, I mean there's projects that have been on the burner for months and months and months that I've been trying to catch up. So those amp builds,
Amps and
which you
stuff,
know
yeah.
about, and then those mics for Tad, I finally got those shipped out.
Yeah, what was the deal?
This
Those were like
morning.
his mics that he sent for repair or something, or to mod
Well, they
them?
were CB mics, and one of them is a very old, sort of like a harmonica mic. So I converted them to run balanced XLR connections, and the harmonica mic I actually transformer balanced, so that you can use it with a regular microphone input
Cool.
at the right impedance.
We got Matt coming through. So he has those. Did you send them off? Bobby's here. What up, Bobby?
Yeah, they shipped out late this afternoon.
Oh, cool.
I still got to update him on the.
Because he came through 2 weeks ago, right? He was
Yeah,
asking
he's
about it?
been. Nah,
Or
no,
no?
it was more than that. It's probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
This looks good. Cool. So, but yeah, so you've just been doing projects.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, it's good to catch up on all that shit.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things coming up too. I don't know where that test enclosure is, but
Oh, for the Task fam?
yeah.
Yeah, I showed it to the Patreon. I was gonna post an Instagram thing of it soon.
Oh, yeah.
But we got the final.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out in person.
What's that?
The box.
yeah.
The box. Yeah.
Yeah. So somehow we sent the boxes out. I
Got
think
a
it was like
physical
last
proof.
week, or no, I mean last month.
Yeah.
We sent to make
At
sure
least.
because we needed a lot of lead time for those.
Yeah.
The physical boxes for the Task fam, yeah, we did like a digital proof, thinking Will made us the artwork, Will killing it, and we had the Illustrator file, send it to them, thinking hey they would just send us back, say it's cool, and they wound up actually physically printing.
Well, first off, we didn't hear anything.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything for like because like the turnaround time is supposed to be like 3 weeks, right, for
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we're going on to week 4 now, so
Yeah, well, the deal with the proof was on the checkbox for a physical proof, it said to allow 3 to 5 weeks processing.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what you were saying
Yeah,
yesterday. Yeah,
we
okay.
didn't order a proof. That was why we didn't order a proof.
Right.
All we wanted was the digital.
Right.
But now we have a physical too.
Now we have a physical proof, and I mean, it looks great. We'll have to check out the Instagram coming up. We'll definitely
I just hope it's not physically too enormous. We'll
the
see.
box itself.
Yeah.
Well, that was the box that we that you had tested out, right? Or that the one that you.
Yeah, that's the one that the board is sized for.
Well, I think
But
it
the
looks
one
great.
picture I saw of it in your hand looked like it was.
Oh, that wasn't
much-
that wasn't me though.
Was that?
Oh, I see. Yeah, no. They sent me that was from Mammoth. They sent me somebody sent me like a picture of it. That's all I got.
Oh, the box itself didn't come?
No,
Oh.
I just got a picture of it.
Oh. Well,
It was
what the
a
fuck is
photo.
that?
I don't
There's
know.
not a physical. You didn't get a physical box?
No, I didn't. They just sent me a photo of it.
Oh. Well, that's fucking
Which
weird.
is even weirder. That's what I mean. Like, so I don't know. I would think a digital proof would mean just kind of like, here's what it looks like laid out on our thing. But
Wait,
we chose.
I'm
Okay.
thoroughly fucking
All right.
confused now.
So ask
So
me
you
what's
don't
up.
have a physical box?
I have no. The only physical box I have is this one that this
The proto.
that
Right.
this
Huh. Well, the plot
that a
thickens.
wizard built for me.
Wait, so-
This is the only box I have.
So it took 4 weeks for them to send you a picture of one of their employees' hands with a box in it.
Yeah. So I don't
All
know.
right.
I don't know like if that's on like me for not like being like, hey, I'm just wondering how this is going, or
No, I'm
the whole
not
thing
really
is,
sure what
or
happened
maybe
there.
maybe because they took an extra time, so they said, okay, we'll send these guys a picture of it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I
thought
don't
there
know
was
what
a
the
physical
reasoning was.
box to look at.
No, it's
That's-
like they literally. I
that's
literally
thoroughly
got
disappointing.
an email that said photo proof,
Yeah.
and
Proof that we made one.
right, and then it was just
Look,
kinda
we
like,
made one.
here's a picture of it.
Yeah.
So they sent us a picture of the physical box that's been screened.
Right.
So
Hmm.
yeah,
That is curious.
yeah. So that's I see what you, because you were like, I'd like to see it, and I was like, yeah, me too. But you thought I had one.
I thought that picture I saw was the
No,
picture
that's
of
like one of the employees
in your
holding
hand.
it. No,
Oh.
that was like some. I think Carol or somebody at the. I forget what the name of the person was, but it's like somebody working with the customer service. They sent me a
Fucking
thing.
Coke nail. That was that person's
Oh.
name. Did you see it?
Yeah. I think they just have long nails.
No, it's just that one.
Oh.
But anyway, well, that's really.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
How
That's
do you
a
notice?
honker, dude.
All right. Well, we'll have to post this up.
I'm saying that box
tomorrow
looks
or
fucking
something.
big too.
I know it does. I'm wondering if the person's hand is just small.
I hope so.
Look, I mean, we sent them the
Yeah,
stuff.
I know.
So should I? We
I
should
know
we
it.
call them up. Call them up on the live stream.
Well, all the dots are in the right places, so there we
I
go.
think it's also like the way they took the picture is weird.
Could be.
It's weird. It's weird. Hey,
Laid
Jed,
out on the box nice though, so.
David coming through. Yeah, it looks great, man. I mean, we'll have
Yeah.
to
I just hope when we get it, it's not like this big, because that's what it looks like.
let me hold this up to these guys so they're not completely in the dark here. Oh, we're gonna get some. So, let me know how I'm doing here with holding it. So we got this photo. This is what we've been talking about. We got this photo of the TaskFam preamp.
This is way behind. I'm not
Oh,
even
shit.
sure. Oh wait, here you come with it.
All right, we're just waiting for the feed to catch up. Yeah, so we got this photo of the preamp
Yeah,
from Mammoth, and this is what we've been talking about for the past couple minutes. We have the proof now of the TaskFam that has been screened and everything's good, gravy, but we had some confusion as to what took so long. And
Yeah.
where Jay's been examining the picture.
No, that's the first thing I noticed, honestly.
I thought it was somebody.
That's a fucking Coke nail. Or a booger nail, I guess. I don't know. It depends
don't
what your
know,
lifestyle's
man.
like, but it's the only one, too. Look at the next nail over.
Yeah. I didn't even- oh my God. I don't know why this is affecting me like this. Because I was like so naively like, oh, it's just somebody that has long
Yeah,
fingernails.
yeah.
You blew the lid
It's
off.
a fucking party nail. That
Holy
thing's even
fuck.
trimmed and rounded. Man.
Yeah, dude.
Thing's mint condition. Ready for your snow ventures.
Oh my god, that's gold, solid gold. But so we got the photo from them that they screened the box. It's been like a week over the deadline, so hopefully we can turn this around and get them out by our
Yeah, I
August ship
mean,
date. But
Jesus, I don't know what's taking so long.
I don't know.
They had to make that one.
Yeah, and yeah. So they, you know, they have the one they made. It's a little bit looking a little bit big.
It looks enormous.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I hope that's a tiny hand.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
Yeah, because that box really shouldn't be much bigger than that box.
Right. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
well, I think we're gonna be all right.
yeah, I think we'll be
I
fine.
think
One
the
way or the
picture-
other. Either
Everything about this picture.
either
is
that
just-
person has a small hand or that box is giant. And if the box is giant, then we just get bigger knobs, and you get a giant task
Yeah,
fan.
it's gonna be like big. It's gonna be like a big muff.
Yeah, basically. Big fan.
Big fan. So that's what's the update is with that, guys. That's his little hand. His
Oh
strong
my
hand.
god.
Guys, you guys are cracking me up, everybody. David, what's going on? We got Matt coming through. Two Rares. Coop's been talking about his second job. I think the place is called Hunky Dory, right? I thought that was a really cool name. I was talking to Coop via email recently, and he said he got a new job at Hunky Dory, which is a record store head shop. That's such a great name, by the way. I love that.
The pipe and bong store.
Capro's attacking a fly over there. So yeah, congrats on the job, Coop. So I was talking to Jay today about. Well, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I want to make a podcast for the channel. But what I was thinking was, since we have the live streams, basically just record some kind of podcast format in the live stream. So we could give. You want to try to give this a shot? I was thinking, I have like a small intro lined up. If you guys have any recording questions or have any questions, basically, I mean, I guess this could already be the podcast. I was just thinking of trying to make it into some kind of a format. But
I'm not sure entirely how to make it work with the live chat going also.
well, let's give it a
Since
shot.
it's not an
If it
audible
doesn't
chat.
work, it doesn't work. But I was thinking,
Try it.
I was thinking like of having like just a 30-minute episode where it's like, well, look here.
Welcome.
Let's talk about it on the podcast. All right. So there's gonna be like an intro. I'm gonna use the song. Oh, check out this study. This is probably why it wouldn't work. Get high on doses of C.
Ah, yeah. Picking up what we were talking about 2 weeks ago. I actually was thinking about that today while I was out working.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll read that after. Definitely.
We'll get into that, David. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I made this thing. I'm just gonna post it in the chat. Just so everybody knows if everybody comes in. Oh shit, it's over the limit. I got some cool ideas. I think that everybody's gonna dig. Oh shit, this thing is fucked. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm gonna just bump this in here.
I'm actually going to save that link manually so that I can see that again.
Yeah, so I'm just throwing in some info in the chat if anybody comes in late, so they know what's going on. You guys, I'm sure, will fill them in. Basically, I just want to make some sort of podcast for the channel, branch out into other mediums, but we'll get into it in the podcast. How about that? I just figured this is such a great medium since we have the audio, we have the captive audience. You guys can be a part of the podcast by asking questions. And eventually I want to have I already have a number. I'll have to, once we get the podcast rolling a little bit, I think it'd be really cool to have people call in with voicemails and questions, or just, because a lot of podcasts do that where they have people call in and leave them a voice message they can use in the intro or the outro, or questions and stuff. So I think that'll be really cool. Have you tried Crowdcast? No, David. We have not. I was going to use Anchor. That seems like a pretty easy way to get stuff up and rolling. They just kind of, you upload it and then distribute it to all these different platforms. So, yeah. I know, I haven't tried Crowdcast. I'll look into that.
Do you want to try to get it set up so that they can call in, like right now?
I think the number is attached to my phone, so like it'll interrupt the stream. But I think in the like maybe episode 2.
We could have them call my phone if we really want to. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean we could do that. I just if you want, yeah, I mean that could be cool.
If you put a message in the chat, can you remove the message from the chat?
Yeah, that's the only thing is like.
Because I don't know that I want like. I mean, I
Well,
guess
why
it
not?
doesn't
Why,
really
we can
fucking
we
matter.
can leave it as the because we can still get questions from the live feed.
Yeah, I just feel like it would be more. It would be better served for the podcast purpose if there was spoken audio from the questionnaire or whatever,
Oh right, yeah, yeah,
like a radio call-in show.
oh yeah, I was thinking like
It kind of loses
once
context
we-
if you don't have somebody asking the question verbally.
oh yeah, I guess my idea was like
Or you
once the
wanna-
podcast was like rolling, it's kind of like a
Autonomous
almost
thing.
like an answer machine where like throughout the week if people have questions or
Oh, I got
people
you.
know that the since it's only week 1 or the first show, like we kind of don't have everything set up. Yo, what up, MS? But yeah, so I was just thinking also like people asking questions on the channel. You guys, you'd be surprised how many questions and comments the channel's been getting lately, and a lot of frequently asked questions. So I thought it would also be cool to kind of put those all together, and then each week maybe bang out a couple of them that are frequently asked. I don't know. Like I'm just trying to figure out some kind of format. I think that's kind of like it's going to be trial by error, you know.
Trial and error is fine. Trial by
Yeah.
fire is not.
Trial and error. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's it's like
Yeah.
because Well, let's give it a shot in this format. I'm thinking if it doesn't work, I'll just interview.
Where's
you or
your little
something.
paper over
I
there?
got. You guys are gonna find out. I got this little script written
Uh-oh.
up. So let's see how this rolls. I'm just gonna make sure the
Scripted and
audio is good.
unscripted. We'll see. Here we go.
Because I have some cool ideas for like the intro. I'm gonna use this, the intro from the channel, and then
The 424 recording podcast
Exactly.
begins now.
I want to do yes. Wait, can you do that again? So I was talking.
The 424 recording podcast begins now.
That reminded me of like the Flaming Lips.
I
play
met
test.
this guy in Rosendale a couple weeks ago who was like a voiceover guy. He has like the best like action movie announcer voice I've ever heard. It's amazing.
That's what he does for a living.
That's what he used to do for a living.
That's awesome.
Carl Weldon.
Oh, I know Carl.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think he was at the show, right?
Yeah.
I know him from movie night around.
Oh,
here. He's the guy that always brings the screen. He
Mhm.
makes the whole thing happen.
Yeah.
Carl, you're an unsung hero. I've been meaning to like introduce myself to him.
Yeah, he's super chill, man.
Every Monday night he erects like this. We have this movie night in town. He erects this enormous
Every
movie
Monday
screen.
night, Carl's erecting something.
He's right.
Carl's erection right in the middle of town.
That's right.
Oh God.
All right, so Jay, give us that one more time, because I want to do my intro. So I wrote this like intro for this.
The 424 recording podcast begins now.
Hey, hello.
Hey, hello.
Hey, hello. Hello, and welcome to
Hello.
424 Recording, a podcast about home studio and lo-fi recording. We're answering recording questions and taking all things music, especially in the punk, grunge, bedroom, and indie rock genres. This is Mike from 424recording.com, and I'm pleased to be joined by Jay the Wizard from Operation Audio and Bohemisphere Studio. What's up, Jay?
Same shit, different day.
Nice, man. So, welcome to the 424 Recording Podcast. This is our first episode. We've been doing a lot of live streams and stuff on the channel. We have our live captive audience. If you want to stop by, it's Wednesdays at 7 p.m. at youtube.com/424recording, and that's Eastern time zone. David, one of our viewers, is cooking some mushroom soup at the moment, so it's a good way to start the day. So this is the first episode of the podcast. We're kind of trying to figure out what we're going to be doing in this podcast. But basically, I was thinking some kind of Q&A and things of that nature. So, and other than that, I think that we'll be having the podcast available on Thursdays, the day after we stream it. So I was thinking we'll have the stream where we'll go a little bit longer and hang out. And then for like a small brief period, we'll do some kind of like condensed podcast version.
Gotcha.
So we'll collect questions from people on the channel via email, Patreon, live, and via voicemail. I'm going to have a number set up, my Google voicemail number, and throughout the week. Hopefully we'll get some questions, or if people want to call in and just say what up, or do like an intro, outro for the show or something. That could be really cool. We're going to get into maybe some project updates, if they're relevant to 424 recording, like the task vamp, which we were talking about before, which has been going good. It's a project that we've been working on the channel, basically making a preamp out of, based on the 4-track Tascam 424 cassette recorder. So that's something that we're going to get into too. I mean, I'm assuming most people that are going to be listening to the podcast are probably fans of the channel, so I figured it's just another way to have another format out there with the 424 recording flag, and I don't know, just another way to consume what we're doing here on the channel. So I was also thinking we could possibly interview people. I was talking to Joe at Jay's show the other night. That was that was really cool. I didn't get the chance to say goodbye to him, but Joe's really cool, man. I haven't like every time I meet up with him, we have like a really great conversation, and thought it'd be cool to somehow integrate some sort of interviews, because we were also talking about probably interviewing some other people.
Yeah.
Jay knows a lot of people in the scene.
It grows every show.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've known Joe since we were kids, man. I think we were in probably 3rd or 4th grade when he moved to my school district.
Oh man, I didn't realize you knew him. You guys went that way back.
Oh yeah.
So Joe, if you're listening, man, we want to interview on here, or just talk about whatever. So
Yeah,
talk about some music stuff, and
we started playing
You guys were in a
guitar
band,
like
right?
around the same time. I played bass in a band with him when we were like, I don't know, we were probably 15, something like that. But yeah, so Joe does his solo martyr art project, and he has some what I assume or what I understand to be sort of offshoot projects and releases coming out shortly. He's going to do a cassette. We were just talking the other night about that. So
cool.
yeah, he's got some things in the works, definitely.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we could have him on, and because he's also been running a magazine out, or his partner.
It's I believe that started with his wife.
I think he was telling me in high school she was.
Yeah, she used to do it as just like a cut and paste kind of zine with handwritten articles, but it was all collage style.
And it like evolved into like a digital format, or
Well,
trying
no,
to
it's
digitize some of it.
Well, they might be digitizing it now, but it's actually like a newsprint, like a physical paper when it comes out.
That's right. I've seen it in like really random like Chinese food restaurants, and
Yeah,
they go all over like distributing it.
he drives all over the place, and I'm sure she does too. But he usually makes the loop up near Saugerties and does the drops, and that's when I see him.
Yeah, he seems like somebody who's like really behind the scenes, in the scene, doing a lot of stuff. It's somebody I'd love to talk to more. I mean, it sounds like that's just a matter of phone call or something.
Yeah,
Getting him over here, but
Well,
I think that'd be cool.
he's in Newburgh, so it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a little ways, but if
Well,
you set it up ahead of time, he's.
I was thinking as some kind of a segment for the show in the future, interviewing people, having guests, or even interviewing people over the phone or something. I don't know.
You could do
like
phone in with him, but he's not usually home till 8 or 9 at night, generally.
Okay.
So, not
yeah.
to put like his whole business on the on the thing, whatever. But
Well, yeah, I was just thinking like it could be another cool segment. Basically, what
Yeah.
we're doing is just trying to figure this out, what we're going to be doing on the podcast. I just figured we're already here live streaming. We may as well have a segment of the live stream that's a podcast or something we can put up as a podcast, and I don't know, more condensed version of the entire stream. Because sometimes we get a little off topic.
always, that's half the fun of the thing.
Yeah. So, I don't know. If any of you guys watching now have any questions for recording related, other than that, I mean...
I think most of the people that are watching now have already burned themselves out of questions to ask. They're waiting for the other, etc.
Well, why don't we talk... We started talking a little bit about these amps that you were building last week, and then when you came over, you started telling me more. So you had built these two amps. One's like a K, an old K.
Yeah, it was a K703 hot chassis, like a student model.
Right, and that was something that you've now built into like a champ, right?
Yeah, essentially. It's a uses a Fender standalone reverb power transformer and a solid state rectifier. And it's a 12AX7 preamp and a 6V6 for the power. But it uses a low ratio output transformer. So it gets real dirty. But it's a fun little amp. Runs a stock speaker, not reconed. No modifications to the cabinet at all, other than tightening up things that were loose. But yeah, I mean, it's that one was cool. The other one was a 6G2 Princeton clone, basically in a what I'm guessing is a late 40s Orpheum, also a hot chassis amp.
Yeah, because you wanted to go through and you made them safe so that you weren't going to get.
Yeah, and then I made them also sound good, so I had to throw
Yeah.
away the old circuits and go new.
That's really dope, man. I wish I could do stuff like that.
You could.
You think so? I'm
See,
really
why not?
fearful of opening things up, and
Well,
because I wouldn't. I could just learn. I guess I would have to learn from you.
yes, you would. Well, you'd have to
That's why
learn
we
from
call him a
somewhere.
wizard.
But the thing about working on tube amps is if you're afraid of it, you shouldn't work on it.
Yeah.
If
Well, that's
you
what I mean,
if
like, I
you
have
don't if you
as
don't
my
know
tech,
that
you know.
yeah, but if you don't know that if you don't know that you can survive what you're getting ready to do,
Yeah.
then it's probably not a great idea to be doing it.
Right.
You need to know
Yeah,
where
just-
your hands. It's like running. I equate tube electronic to running a table saw. Like if you're not careful where you put your hands, you'll get bit, and it might require a trip to the hospital or the morgue if you're really
I
messed
feel
up
like
bad.
I don't know, man. I'm like Tim the Toolman Taylor. Like I love doing
and
stuff.
then stick your whole fist right in there while it's on.
Exactly. Oh,
Don't
I
do
wouldn't.
that.
I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I'm the guy that like, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about power tools, but it's hilarious. It's a hilarious premise for a show too. Was it Tool Time? But yeah. Just like knowing myself, I'm just not a power tools guy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay with saying that. Like just fuck it. Like, I can have Jay work on my amps rather than get hurt. So. I actually, yeah, it's like a. I guess this is a great story for the first episode. At one point I was building a pedal board at my buddy's house, a couple days before my birthday, maybe when I was 20 or something, and or I think it was my 21st birthday. We were building our own pedal boards, and his dad had like a whole table saw and everything set up, and I fucking almost cut my finger off on this fucking table saw, man. And to this day, I'm just like, I just really shouldn't. I really shouldn't fuck with power tools. So
Well, the thing with the table saw is it demands respect. If you're not respectful of the clearances and tolerances of things and where that spin and blade is, it will absolutely
I just so naive,
mow
man.
you
I just
down.
had no understanding
Well-
of how to use the thing. And it was also like I'm left-handed, and I understand
Yeah.
that was some issue with the way it was set up. I don't know.
Well, when a left-handed person needs to use a table saw that's set up for a right-handed person, you have to flip the fence.
Right.
So the fence would go on the other side of the blade so that your feed hand would be your dominant hand.
Exactly. So I mean, I think it was a combination of like some really just bad.
Well, it was set up righty. I mean,
Well, yeah, and I was also just such a stupid, dumb kid at
Yeah.
that point.
Well, with a table saw, positive pressure all the time and knowing where your hands are.
Yeah.
Those are the two most important things.
See, if I was doing it with you, I'm sure I would have been fine.
Yeah, well, I used to be afraid of table saw until I learned these things.
Right.
If you walk up to the saw and you're like, and you
I wasn't.
and you put-
I was like
well-
overconfident little dick. You know?
well, if you walk up to it and you go, and you're afraid to put the wood in the blade,
Then
the
you're-
first
yeah.
thing that thing's gonna do is bind and kick,
Bite you, yeah.
and that piece of wood is gonna hit you in the gut or the face, or
Yeah.
it'll kick backwards and suck your hand into the blade or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's not the way to handle it. Level-headed, confident and in control.
Hell yeah.
Tubes work the same way.
Yeah, man. You know what? Maybe someday we can bust out the tube amp and go from there.
Really nothing to it.
Show me what's up. We could bust out I have like a little vibro champ.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fenders are super easy
yeah.
because the chassis will slide right out and hang in the cabinet. You don't even have to mess with it.
Cool. Yeah, maybe one that could be a cool project. Maybe we could document it on the stream, or, you know, just make a video about it too.
Yeah.
It would be really fun. We got a couple questions coming in. One from David, one of our viewers that's on the stream right now. David also sent a Fostex M80 in recently. That's another project we're going to be working on soon on the channel. So if you're checking out the podcast and are into reel-to-reels, that's something to look forward to in the future. So you can check out the YouTube channel at youtube.com/424recording. But so David is asking us, some of you may know, I think we talked about this last week or at some point, or 2 weeks ago. There's a new Tascam, it's called the 202 Mark 7, the new double cassette deck from Tascam. It's a joke.
Oh, yeah.
It's super pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He was saying it looked real.
I guess
sort
that
of
wasn't
cheap.
a question, but more. I guess. Oh, have we seen it? So yeah, we have seen it, and yeah. So
Yeah.
do you want to take this one, Jay, or field this one?
I mean, I don't know what there is to field. It kind of looks like a cheap piece of shit.
Right. It's one of those things where it's like $500, and you'd probably be better off spent just grabbing a vintage $200 unit that'll probably last another 30 years. You know.
Yeah, I can't see any point in that expense for what that is.
I mean, I think it's cool that they've decided to make one, but
Granted,
maybe they're just
but-
cashing in on.
Yeah, they're cashing in on the trend, I think.
Yeah.
Get a vintage Nakamichi,
Yeah. So
do the rebelt, fix it up.
that brings us to another. That's a segue into Matt Skizzo. He said he has who also sent a Tascam 424 into the channel that we've been using in some of the videos. Thank you, Matt. He said he's also going to be this Nakachi. How do you say it?
Nakamichi.
I always mispronounce it.
I used to call it Nakamachi, and then somebody corrected me. I forget where I was.
Nakamichi. Okay.
I was talking to somebody who was really like into hi-fi. I'm like, it's not. You're not saying it right. So now I'm super conscious about it because
Nakamichi.
to somebody that matters, I guess.
Okay, Nakamichi. Okay, so.
Actually, I have a friend who speaks Japanese, so I should ask him what the proper pronunciation of that is. Yeah, the bagpiper guy.
Oh, you want to text him?
No, I'll ask him when he's up next week.
Ask him. Yeah, that'd be cool. So Nakamichi. So Matt's got a Nakamichi deck. He's going to be sending into the channel. He's reinstalling the transport right now. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that sounds awesome, man. I'm excited. I want to make some tapes, man. I haven't had a deck in a while. I was explaining that on one of the last live streams. I had an old. I think it was a 133 or something. It was this weird unit that was a 3-track cassette recorder. It was a 2-track. It was a stereo deck with a 3rd track. That was
the Q track.
Yeah, it was for like
track.
old style projection. Like if you had it was like old style keynote type PowerPoint things.
Yeah.
With this cassette deck, so you would have your stereo sound and then this other track on there that would cue which is just crazy how far technology's come. Even just thinking about that unit, but I can't even imagine who would have used that unit. I guess they used it in a business room or something.
Probably used it for some sort of broadcast.
Oh, that makes sense too.
Broadcast
So I
is
have
all
one of
about
those.
time codes and cues and
Yeah, I feel like this one was specifically for that's crazy. Yeah, so maybe that's I don't remember. I actually got it from Pat.
I thought the 133 though was a 2-track mixdown deck.
Maybe it was 233. I don't know. I'm getting my
Not
numbers.
sure.
There's so many numbers.
Matt, I think that might mean that we're on the rear cusp, if there is such a thing. We're on the back seat of some kind of trend.
Yeah, because I mean, I think most of the people that follow the channel, I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody, but for me personally, I've always been into the cassette recording aspect. I always thought the 4-track was a great machine, and well, I mean, it's obviously can be prone to breaking down and issues because we've talked about how it's cheaply made, but I always liked the way it sounded. I always thought it had a cool character, and there was a lot of nostalgia for me as a kid, and having learned on that and playing with my friends in basements and stuff, and recording each other with that. So
I think as far as breaking down, you sort of have to qualify that comment though,
Sure.
define broken.
Right. I guess I've never had one that's actually like been completely broken, but there's a lot of quirks.
Most of them are never completely broken. It's
Yeah.
always like
You can revive them.
Yeah, it's stupid dropouts and
Yeah. Which I think somebody had. Did you get an email recently from somebody with a 414? I sent it
did.
your way.
An
So-
individual in Georgia. Yep.
Yeah. So Jay actually is a repair tech. I think if you probably gleaned that from if you're just like randomly listening to this podcast, you want to tell us a little bit about what you do, Jay?
Did they not already know?
I think everybody knows, but
my
like,
God.
you know,
What don't I do? I don't even know where to begin.
Jay knows. I think he's an electronics wizard.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you know how to build like your own tube amps, man. That's fucking sick. That's a skill I wish I could do. That I don't know if I ever will. I don't think most people will ever be able to do, man. Like that's like a dying art.
It's really not as tough as you'd think. Working on things like cell phone technology is 100,000 times more difficult than vacuum tube synthesis, as it were. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know how to take things apart and change parts and diagnose problems and swing a soldering iron without burning myself. And sometimes I even put things back together and make them work.
Well, that's what I said in the video where you fixed my 4-track. I was like, all the King's horses and all the King's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Maybe all those dudes and horses should have called Jay.
Oh, damn. That's quite a vote of confidence.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah.
When it comes to things like the diagnosis and repair, though, of tube equipment and stuff, it's like, it's really about your memory bank. Like, you've seen this problem before, so how did you fix it then?
Yeah.
But I guess it's chicken and egg or whatever. Like, that first one you worked on probably really sucked. But after that, it's like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. Oh, I know what that sound is. Yeah, okay.
I'm actually getting ready to crack open the that 414. That's been having some strange issues in there. Thought maybe that could make good fodder for a training session / learning how to just knocked over my water. It's okay, I had the cap on it. I thought that could make a good.
Just don't destroy that one.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking too. It's like
Yeah.
maybe we could take a peek at it.
Yeah, we could do that. But yeah, I don't know. What the hell does it say? A certain aesthetic to the tape lifestyle. Yeah, that's very true.
Well, a lot of people have been asking lately, like people just getting into the 4-track. I think I got a lot of emails and comments this week from people just thanking me for all the 4-track videos and like saying like, oh man, this is like a great new hobby. Like I'm so excited. Like there seems to be a trend now too in music production of DAW-less jamming or like DAW-less creation. Like people are kind of getting away from using computers because of the infinite nature of plugins and tweaking and
Well, I think inherently when you first start to try to capture your own music, the easier it is, the smarter it is,
right.
and the better it will come out. Which is why a 4-track always was like the, junior high kid standard for,
Yeah, it's like just get your tapes, plug in, run and gun.
Yeah. Because
I
it was
think that's
super
cool.
easy. All you had to know how to do was plug something into it and push the buttons.
Well, something that came up along these lines that I thought was interesting. I read is that.
Something in my eye. Fuck.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's not Capro, is it?
No.
We
No,
got
no.
Capro running around the studio here, 424 HQ.
No, I suspect I was cutting grass today. I suspect it's something from
Oh, you
that.
seem
that's worked
fine.
its way down.
Oh shit, man.
I blinked it in.
Well, the people can't see you on the podcast, so.
There you go.
But yeah, so they were talking about like 4-tracks. I mean, obviously you can use a DAW as if you're using a 4-track, So I mean, that's like I guess part of the argument. Like some people say, like, well, why don't you just use a DAW more simplified, or limit it to 4 tracks, or But I think that what I heard was interesting along these lines. Was the point I was going to make was somebody I think mention this. I don't know if somebody's actually working on it, but I'd like to actually take a shot at it. I know David has some coding skills in the chat. They were talking about making a DAW that emulated, not like emulated the sound of it, but basically a limited DAW. So something that was maybe a 4-track DAW or like an 8-track DAW. I think that's a great fucking idea, and I'm surprised somebody hasn't already done it. I'm sure there's a phone app or an iPad app for this or something similar, but uh, designing your own DAW or designing a DAW that is simplified so that it's more challenging to
Well,
make a recording on it. Or I think that personally I think that's brilliant. I don't know.
do you remember the DAW that Easy was telling us about that night, the Harrison 32?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Harrison 32 is a channel limited DAW.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Reaper is the DAW for you. We're moving back because we're so confused and we like the simplicity. Just reading a couple comments from David here. I think a 4-track is like a recording school. The old timers really good at it, good at multi-tracking, and then I'll move to DAWs at some point because of the simplicity. Yeah, I mean that seems to be the because like whenever you look at some old threads and stuff of people, younger people asking like on Gear Sluts about hey, I want to get a cassette 4-track, and then like 20 dudes from that era come out and they're like, you're a fool. Like I would never go back to using cassettes, and it was so hard to get a good. And it was like, I feel like it's not. It's like.
I think the problem modern day with the technology is that bands have zero ability to commit. So if you're going to try to track a band to 8 tracks or 4 tracks, like, having to commit to a drum sound because you're about to print it all to 1 or 2 tracks.
Yeah.
Like most bands couldn't even fathom that. Oh, you mean later on I can't bring like the snare up? Like,
yeah.
Not directly.
Right.
So,
Right. I mean, this is interesting because now we're getting into like a bigger conversation of like, I guess like taste, skills, aesthetic, because I feel like that's the biggest challenge, and I feel like that's the best part about using these limited DAWs or like a 4-track.
Well, I mean, I think committing to sounds is a risk that you have to take if you intend to,
Get shit
employ
done.
that format.
Right.
Well, I mean, not necessarily get shit done, but like when it comes to, if you've printed all your drums in mono to 1 track on your 4-track, whatever that kick and snare level are and whatever the tom sounded like that's fucking
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
I think there's something really exciting about that.
There is certainly something about that becomes the anchor point to what the mix is going to sound like.
Right. You got to nail that drum sound.
Well, you don't necessarily have to nail the sound. You just have to nail the balance. Because if all the elements of the drum kit sound all right and the picture is good the way that it lays out and nothing's like, stepping on anything else and the levels are balanced, that's I think the best you could hope for there.
Right. Yeah, you
But
got to
you're
make
not
sure you
gonna
nail that.
you're not gonna go off of that, that 4-track and put like, big glam rock fucking snare reverbs and all kinds of shit on that because it's done.
No.
That's whatever that sounded like is how it's gonna go.
Right. Unless you're gonna do that in line as you're recording. Again, like
Right.
committing to saying like, that's the sound I want, that big snare,
But
glam rock sound.
But in the case of bussing everything down to either mono or stereo into a 4-track, you're gonna have a console of some kind anyway.
Right.
Unless you're just taking it all with 1 mic. And it'd almost be easier.
Yeah,
if
you get
took,
like a submixer. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you would have some sort of board that allows you to, assemble those tracks into a composite, either mono or left and right.
Right.
But most likely that board is going to have an auxiliary on it, which is where that big reverb would come from. But, it's kind of cool if you print drums that way. You make sure you like what they sound like as they go down, obviously. But if you commit to them and just print that, then that really is the anchor point, the keystone to your mix. Like, it can only go left and right and around that. This is what the drums sound like.
I see.
Now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And you can listen to.
Why do you think people are like afraid to commit to that? Do you think there's just too many choices today?
Because there's been way too many options for all these people's careers at this point. Most of them started out buying studio time in multi-track facilities. And almost all those facilities would have been DAW based.
Right.
I mean, in the people in sort of our age range, you know, like they're the 20s to 40s somewhere, like that's, you know, early versions of Pro Tools and
Yeah,
Cakewalk
I remember
Sonar
using
and all these fucking, you know,
SoundForge and
or even like ADAT, you know, like before the digital stuff happened, studios had 48 tracks of ADAT all linked up to the big remote control, and
right.
you know,
That's crazy.
so you could literally with that setup, you could print 3 or 4 or 10 snare tracks with different mics and make it do whatever you wanted at the end. But
Let's take a couple live comments here. Bobby's saying, I like hearing the music and mixing bass in my ears versus watching the EQ visual analyzer. Yeah, I agree with that 100%, but I think that's one of the things I always say on the channel, a lot of the videos is, I think the biggest difference is you're not looking at a screen, you know, like music is an
Yeah.
auditory format, you know, because
Right.
I know personally, I've said this, I'll sound like a broken 4-track, but I've said this repeatedly that, you know, when I'm looking at a DAW, like there's this tendency to say like this has to be perfect. These blocks have to look like this has to, and it's like that means nothing. People are not looking at the physical picture of your song, like the physical what it looks like in like a, you know, synthetic computer screen or whatever, and like the synthesized program, like
well,
doesn't mean anything.
when it comes to tracking into the DAW, like, you know, you use that as an example, looking at waveforms and letting that dictate, you know, what things sound like, or how, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, I mean, there's like this tendency to like over manipulate things. I know that's probably not what you were gonna say.
No, I'm blanking on the word, but anyway, it's like, you know, even if the little indicators on your digital interface are in the red, and even if that waveform on the screen is clipped to shit on the upper and lower margin, if you're not hearing that digital distortion and you like the way that sounds, really doesn't matter what the waveform says.
Right.
So the waveform to me on the screen really is a placeholder so that I can phase align things.
Definitely.
And it's also how I know where the little tiny crossfades for all the punch edits and shit go, and
Sure.
you know where to cut out.
Yeah, there's definitely
noisy
very
silences.
useful. Yeah.
But you know, aside from those things, the waveform really means shit.
Right.
It's, you know, it's a placeholder.
Well, yeah, like the 4-track, all you have is a couple meters that basically say like
Yeah.
those meters aren't terribly accurate all the time. I've noticed, at least on
No.
my unit. So it's kind of like, I mean, I think that's, and like to this day, like one of the songs that's, and it might just be coincidence, it might just be a song or whatever, but one of the songs that everybody constantly tells me is like their favorite track. They love it. How did you do this? How did you do it? Is just done on a 4-track, 3 tracks, you know? I just thought a lot about it, committed to the sounds, and that was it, you know? And it's interesting that that's kind of the, like one of the songs that kind of like rekindled my, my love of make 4-track music, and the one that sticks out to people. And there's just something about that song, whether it's the song or whether it's the quality of it, I don't know. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, I think the quality of, or the recorded aesthetic of a song is really only part of the picture. I think like if you had mediocre material recorded in a way that it was aesthetically pleasing, it still wouldn't please everybody all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
So
mean,
there has to be something. There
yeah,
has to be something
subjective
complimentary, but in you know, people liking your song, there has to be something about the recording style and the production style that was obviously complementary to the material that already existed to
right.
yield that response. You know, and probably you could have done it in the DAW and gotten
Sure.
similar results.
Yeah,
Because really, at the end, it's
There's certain things I definitely still want to do in the DAW, you know.
yeah, but I feel like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how it is that you recorded it. If it's a good song and it sounds cool,
Yeah.
fucking who cares?
It sounds good. It is good. Totally.
Yeah.
That's like definitely a big mantra and definitely a big theme and idea behind a lot of the stuff I work on and a lot of the stuff with the channel. Look through some of the comments here. Jeb saying the band Deerhoof made an album on an early version of Pro Tools free that only let you record 2 tracks. They each had a laptop and all had to hit record at the same time. That sounds pretty amazing. A pretty amazing way to make a record. Do you know what record that is, Jeb? Just out of curiosity. Drums are scary to me. Guitars and vocals, much less so. The worst is MIDI drums. I know people who spend days looking for drum sounds. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not about
yeah.
that at all.
That's exactly like all those. Yeah, I mean, the Knack plays. Okay, so Matt's got an update on the Nakamichi deck we were talking about earlier that he's going to be sending into the channel. It's PO Box 151, New Paltz, New York. If you have any postcards or rocks that you want to send into the PO Box. He said it plays fast forward, rewinds fine until I put a tape in, then it won't do anything. Just Jesus, take the wheel.
Matt, there is a little tab inside of a cassette deck transport. It should move a sliding switch on the back of the transport to actuate different functions when you insert the cassette. So make sure you didn't leave a spring out or disrupt a contact. I don't know how taken apart the machine is, but maybe you can look at the back of the transport and just touch different contacts with a tape in the transport. It's all low voltage, just don't touch any of the stuff over by the mains. But I'm betting there's a contact somewhere that's out of place, or a spring, return spring, something is not happy.
Oh, so David, I think we're going to be wrapping up the first inaugural episode of the podcast. We're gonna keep going on the live stream. So if you want to catch in for the after party of the live recording of the podcast, just come through the channel at youtube.com/424recording, Wednesday 7 p.m. Eastern time. I think David's. This is a great bookend to, I think, the conversation we're having. He says, I made my best stuff in GarageBand, so DAWs are great. It's about the ideas. DAWs aren't evil. I think that's a great...
There you go.
That's what we've been saying. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of the 424 Recording Podcast with, this is me, Mike, from 424recording.com. And as always, I'm pleased to be joined by Jay the Wizard of Operation Audio and Bohemisphere Studio.
And while you were all sitting here live on the podcast, we helped Matt fix his transport.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. And that's the one that Matt's going to be sending in to the channel, too. So
Cool.
Thank you so much, Matt. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. Hopefully we'll look back at this episode and, see what we improved. But, yeah. Should be available tomorrow. I'll bump a link. So figure Thursdays for catching the podcast, and Wednesday nights is when we'll be live streaming, and so feel free to come through the channel. It's Mike from 424recording.com. Make sure you do something you want to do today. Any last words, Jay?
No parting comments.
All
We'll
right.
catch you on the next podcast. Catch us in the after party on the live stream. Make sure you get those questions in by email,
Yeah, that's
text, Google Voice.
Hell yeah! I'll add a outro to the podcast that'll tell you about the number to call in the future. So that's gonna be really cool. And if you have any recording questions, please feel free to ask them. That's what the show's all about. So, all right, we'll catch you on the flip flop.
Peace.
Peace. All right.
All right, so now we're back on the stream
We're back
again.
on the stream. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I figured that seems like a good way to segue into having like a shorter podcast format rather than put up the 2-hour live stream each week. I don't know. I was looking at this thing. It was saying that like a lot of the most popular podcasts, not that we're trying to be the most popular podcast, but in general podcasts, at least a lot of the ones I listen to too, are like 20 to 30 minutes long. And I don't know. I feel like that, amount of time is like the perfect amount of time.
I never listen to podcasts. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just,
I'm bad at
it's
it.
like episodic, like radio show-esque.
Yeah, no, I know how it works. I just,
Yeah, like maybe in the future, once we get the podcast thing going, if it's something we stick with, we can make longer episodes. But I just also figured I don't want to. I want to make sure we're hanging out with the Task fam too. I don't want to just like record the podcast and not be ignoring them.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. So, but I figured this was a great way because we're both here together. We can then do the podcast, have everybody's input, have people asking questions, talk about stuff that's related in the channel world um, for that week or whatever, and people then can catch up like a brief, 30-minute episode of the live stream on a podcast. So,
Cat face. Welcome, Cat face. Cat face
Cat
is when
face.
you read your Blue Apron ad copy. Oh, God.
That's awesome. Yeah. And Squarespace too, right?
And David, yeah, I know I should probably work on the
We should-
vitamin C regimen so I can help rid myself of lead because I'm sure I'm packed with it.
You think so?
Just packed with it. Yeah, because I don't use a charcoal filter, fan, lead fume remover, or whatever, or gloves when I'm building stuff. So, yeah, I'm breathing that shit all the time.
Dude,
Breathing it, touching it.
there's an interesting. Sorry, man. I don't mean to like. I feel like I'm glossing over the fact that you just said you may have lead poisoning.
I'm sure I probably do.
But this is important because I feel like you can confirm or deny this claim. So Bill Jim, been a long-term viewer of the channel.
I saw that. I didn't want to address the question in the podcast.
Okay, so
But,
can we please address that right now? Because I have not heard that, and I feel like you would.
I have never seen that, but I mean, I guess anything's possible. I guess it would depend on like what time of day and what day of the week they come out.
Yeah,
I
I could
certainly
see-
hope that's not the
I
case.
hope
but it
it's
really
not the
wouldn't-
case, but, like-
wouldn't shock me.
Exactly. That's why I'm like.
There's a
ooh.
lot of fucking weirdos in there.
Yeah, Woodstock's a weird town, man. There's a lot of cool people too, but that's the vibe I get there. Like, I don't know, during the day, it's funny that it's like during the day that's. I don't know. At night, I don't know what I'm even saying. I like Woodstock.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Well,
don't
you
care
live
much.
there, so I
Well,
mean,
I
you
don't
pretty much
really
you live outside of
I
there.
live outside of it, yeah.
I think Radio Woodstock's really cool.
I
And
think they're a
MK.
bunch of fucking posers.
I think they're cool, man.
They're a bunch of hipster dipshits.
No, I think
And,
I think you're.
Oh, I don't know. Have you ever listened to it? God. Some
Yeah,
of
I
the
mean-
worst, some of the most uninteresting bands on the fucking planet spin back to back on that station every single day.
All right, man. I humbly disagree.
Ugh,
I think they.
God.
I like MK. She's a host there.
She's a nice person.
She's cool, yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't. She plays the same
Um,
shit basically that everybody else plays, though.
I like. Okay, so what do you think about the Colony, or Colony Woodstock?
Same thing.
Oh man,
Same fucking thing. They spent a whole lot of money so that a whole lot of bullshit music had a whole new place to play.
Man, Jay's coming out. Jab, 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 uppercut right now.
I don't know, man. I mean, you're entitled to however you feel about it. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to talk shit about stuff anymore.
Oh, I talk shit about everything. It's the only way to get through a day. Kidding?
That's our yin and yang right there, I guess.
When I'm working in the speaker shop, Radio Woodstock's on, I just talk shit back to it all day.
Damn, I didn't know you felt
Terrible.
this strongly about
Yeah,
radio.
yeah. I feel this way about all radio, but
What about podcasts?
like I said, I never really listen to podcasts. I don't know. I've helped make a few, but
Oh,
not really too sure.
I'll see if Snake is available. Maybe
Snake
he'll.
Plissken.
Yeah, maybe Snake Plissken can come through at some point.
Jeb, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad that this part is. I'm glad that you didn't address that band thing. I'm glad this is post podcast, even though it doesn't fucking matter.
Nah.
But
yeah.
we need to read an ad from our sponsor right now. No, I was thinking when Cafe said that we could do. It'd be funny to do like fake ads.
That one podcast that I was on, we did that.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I
I made one for a company called Paul's House of Wigs and Accessories.
Oh, okay. So you're already. This is funny. You're already like way ahead of me on this.
You know the intro to Bitchin' Camaro?
Yeah.
That bass walk.
That's like behind it.
So I looped that. I put a
Sampled
different. I sampled it and looped it. I put a different guitar over it, and then I made the commercial over top of that.
Cool.
And
That's awesome, man.
I wish I still. I probably do still have that. It's really really funny.
Yo, that's hey.
Some of the stuff I said in that is not PC anymore.
Oh.
You can't really say it any.
Well, Leo,
Now,
let's
but-
put this out to the Taz fam. If you guys have ideas for fake ads that we could play, or you want to record on your 4-track your own ad for fake companies, yeah, do it to it. That would be awesome. We could put them on the pre-roll.
Or if you have like a
B-roll.
real company and you want us to just put you in there
Well,
so
yeah,
that
we
people
probably
know
sh-
about your real
We
company,
probably
we do
shouldn't
that
say
too.
that now, but yeah.
Why not?
Well, because we're just saying we're gonna. Well, yeah. Okay, so we'll use fake companies until we'll fake it till we make it.
There you go.
So John, he said I would, because that's funny, Joe. I was thinking of you. He said I would love to do a fake ad. We'll get on that. So please do. This is the only reason I tune in, to hear the whiz go off. I think that's what I've been trying to tell Jay for a while, and I think you guys
man.
know too. Is like, I think Jay could have his own channel, or just a channel where he just goes off. I guess that is this channel.
I don't know.
You could just
I mean,
I could just feed him stuff like.
I don't really go
Jay,
off
what do you
on-
think of the Beatles?
I don't really go off on anything, but when you ask me questions, I give you honest answers. So,
Right, right.
I mean,
well,
if
that's
that's
what I think is refreshing about you, Jay.
if that's going off, then yeah, I guess I go off a lot.
But I think we could I think that would be fun. Oh, Shittington's oatmeal bloaters. You should create short video segments. Yeah, we could do that too.
You know what I fucking hate? The Beatles. News at 11.
Yeah. So I think that would be fun. Oh, Belgium's coming back through with the Woodstock thing. I
Yeah,
swear
I
it's
see
true.
that.
I heard they try to hit up the older demographic of locals in hopes of hearing some stories.
30-second videos.
And they take out notepads and write down said stories. What?
Yeah.
This is insane. I can't.
You know what?
The craziest part is that I could see this being a truth. This.
I know a bunch of people that work every single day up in Woodstock, so I'll ask.
Yeah, we'll come.
I'll ask
Let
and
us
we'll
know
find
next
out.
week what up.
Yeah.
Or hey, I'll leave a voice message and then we can integrate that into the podcast.
All right.
Oh wait, this is post podcast, so I don't know. I feel like I'm
Post-podcast.
gonna get confused now with the
The
podcast.
extravaganza.
I might create a southern version of Snake named Snipe. Do it. That would be awesome.
Snipe.
Sweating is also great and get an infrared sauna. Oh, for the lead, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Zemet said he's gonna be sending the Nakamichi, Nakatomi Plaza
Nakatomi.
CR18 that I just, dude. Thank you so much, Matt. That's I'm gonna be pumped. I'm gonna do something really cool with that too. I got some plans for it, Matt. So we're gonna do some videos with that. So thank you so much.
There are a lot of people in Woodstock who legitimately were there when all these classic artists were hanging around, and in New York City hanging out with these guys like Hendrix and shit. And some of those guys would blow your fucking mind if you spent a couple hours hanging out with them, really. Yeah, I mean, I literally could take notes from one of the guys that I used to go up and hang out with up there. He toured with the band. He, hung out with Hendrix, all kinds of crazy shit.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, Zaloom. So it really wouldn't surprise me. There was also there's a percussionist that lives in Woodstock still who was, I guess, on a bunch of like the last Hendrix shows and stuff. Which is sort of interesting. But
I like this Jay Goes Off idea, David. Every week, a different topic, 30-second video. It could be a thing. I think we could do it. We'll have to start making a running list of topics for Jay. What up with that? With Jay the Wizard? Jay, you can make your own like Saturday Night Live style skit show at this point with all these ideas that are rolling in right now. Like I said, these are just rumors, but I think it'd be pretty awesome, hilarious to see a tribute band all dressed up and shit.
oh man, I actually heard through the trees one of the last Levon concerts at Opus 40, which was really pretty awesome.
Yeah,
You
he
were-
was still cranking out the tunes.
Yeah, just about right up till he died.
He had like open jams or something at his house.
No. He had all-star shows at in his what they call his barn, which is his studio.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even. I guess I
But
don't
his
know what I'm
house
talking
was
about.
connected to that. I knew one of the guys who was like the whatever gopher in the studio, and Levon used to come down like in his underwear and shit, and like play drums in the middle of fucking sessions and stuff.
Right.
Just
Fucking
show up
cool,
out of the
man.
blue.
That guy was cool as shit.
Yeah. Zaloom said that um, he saw that guy on a bus do more drugs in one sitting than he'd ever seen anybody do, and then still go out and rock the stage.
Wow.
So he's like, "Yep, those those old." Well, I think Levon was from Kentucky. I forget what Chris said, but yeah, those old Kentucky boys, man, they could just do it.
How did those guys wind up in Woodstock? Like they were all living upstate, right?
Yeah. I'm not really sure what the story of that is.
Because I always thought that was pretty fascinating, like thinking about those dudes like hanging out in like the woods of the Catskills or like Catskills, like in the base of the Catskills. Like, what the hell were they doing there?
Well, I mean,
Seems like a cool place to hang out, but
well, pre-Woodstock '69, upstate would have just been the escape from the metropolitan buzz of New York City. You know, it would have been the hideout and hangout for people looking for better vibes, man. And I think post 1969, once the Woodstock culture had sort of cemented itself with the first festival, I think a new subculture had whatever not only sort of congealed, but it also had gained following. So you know what used to just be an escape and a haven became like Mecca for people who lived and existed that way. But how they ended up here and why exactly, I don't know.
weird.
Don't know.
Bill-
Well, like Bob Dylan, he ended up here
Yeah.
because his brother had a house up here. You know.
Right. I mean, well, is that? I mean, I don't know too much about
His brother had a house right in Bearsville. I could take you past it. It's right on the main road.
But like, is that where they did like the basement tapes and
No,
stuff?
that was Big Pink.
But isn't Big Pink is like right down the road from your house too, right?
Sort of. It's actually right down the road from.
So I mean, maybe there's some connection
King
there,
Tone
right?
Alex's
Because
house.
is it possible that they came up to play with Dylan?
I
'Cause
feel
weren't they
like
backing him at one point?
they were, but I feel like the way that story went is they were already here doing a thing, and Dylan ended up with them because he had wrecked his motorcycle off of Sawkill Road, and ended up being stuck up here for recovery and
Yeah, I
recuperation.
remember that story. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's how the band and Dylan came together to do the thing that they did.
So kind of separate orbits that met.
Yeah,
Yeah. Interesting.
that's my recollection of that story. Who the fuck knows?
No, man, that sounds like something I've read or
Yeah.
watched in like a Dylan documentary or something.
And like I could take you to the spot where he crashed the motorcycle.
It's in
The
Cottikill
road's still the same. What?
or Rosendale, Sawkill.
Sawkill Road. It's between Woodstock and Kingston.
Oh, okay.
There's a really sharp S turn next to this old mill, and he dumped it coming around that S turn,
Jeez.
and he road rashed the whole side of his shit. I think
Oh
he
my
broke his
God.
leg too,
Jeez.
something like that. So he was stuck recuperating at his brother's house on 212.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Bill
It's a
Jim.
white picket fence just past the Woodstock post office on 212. I think it's the corner of, I want to say it's maybe Schoonmaker Lane, I forget. But yeah, the house is still there. It's a brown house with white trim and a white picket fence. That was his brother's joint back then.
Bill Jim, he said, "Don't bring it up because I also heard each member plans to die the same way the original members did." This
I think
is
somebody's feeding us a line now.
yeah. This is getting crazy, Bill Jim.
But I'm still gonna ask if there's a group of guys around anyway, just for the fuck
It's
of it.
well, the craziest part of the even if it is just a gas or whatever is that I could see that potentially. I could see like it's not that far fetched.
Right.
It doesn't seem that far fetched.
Not at all. Not all these fucking wannabe weirdos up here.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, me either.
Very weird. But so yeah, what else is going on, guys?
Wait, who just got clicked out? What was that?
What happened? Yeah, so man, we're doing good tonight with these stories and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, man. That's like I feel like that's really happens. We kind of hit like a slow part here or like a dropout. We don't have anything to say. Okay, Catface coming through. Yeah, Jay, I can't remember if I've asked you this before or not, but do you know a scramsy kind of band from NJ from New Jersey from 2004 called Make Me 0405?
I don't. No. Is that a band you found through like the old MySpace?
I was gonna
stuff?
say MySpace, yeah. It sounds like a MySpace band.
I bet my friend Anthony knows them. He was a Jersey, whatever, rock and metal kind of kid.
Checking in on the audio. Cool.
Catface, is that something that you're looking for? Or something that you already know of and liked?
Yeah, or just something you came across, maybe.
Oh, I'm a single post on YouTube.
What is Scrams? Jeb S. What is Scrams?
I don't know, man.
Scramsy.
Make me NJ. Let's see what that's like.
Yeah, I came across a really interesting article. Reminds me, I don't know why. I think because we were talking about some Bandcamp stuff, and also just looking up old bands. I don't know if you guys have seen this article. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool article. Not because I just like data and analytics. I've been becoming more of a data analytic guy. But uh-oh. Speaking of cat. Yeah, so this article.
Whoa.
What's up, bro? Capro's big chillin'.
Right.
Oh, that was a good meow. Hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, Math, that's cool. I feel like there's a lot of bands like that around where I grew up.
Catface, this stuff's crazy. It's like super funky jazz with screaming and heavy parts. It's like Primus hardcore. Weird. Huh.
Yo, super noob. Greetings from Argentina. I discovered the channel the other day. Now I see you are alive, and I'd like to share my 414 recordings. All right, do it up. You can also there's also a thread on the forum, 424recording.com/forum, that you can share your stuff on. Actually, yeah, if you have a band name or something that we can Google, or I'll also link you to the forum. Unfortunately, you have to be a mod to share some links. So, yeah, I was gonna say really quick. All right, let me see if I can.
Well, you could post your link and have a mod copy and paste it, right?
Oh, maybe, yeah. Let me get the.
Bill, Jim, Woodstock apartments are super fucking pricey. Most of the people my age that live up there have housemates to be able to afford even modest digs. You can sometimes find cheap things to live in Saugerties, which is 10 minutes from Woodstock. Kingston's got a fair share of, expensive or inexpensive, depending on your price range.
Thanks, Matt. Beat
So
me to
within
it.
the region, you could afford to live on a, I don't want to say a modest income, but if you had housemates, you could. But Woodstock itself does not have much cheap anything.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, probably not since about 1973.
I mean, I went to college in Binghamton, and the rent up there was really cheap because it was like middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if it even is still like that anymore. Um, I was gonna say, so Catface is coming through with some of these stats from that article I posted. I think it's pretty crazy. Yeah, like so Bandcamp basically put out stats of bands that are signing up and band names and cassette sales and all these like stats from 2017, and some of them are really interesting. Like Cafe is saying there's 9 bands called Bloom, and they're saying that was going to be my album name, and then 58 albums called Bloom. So like for some reason there's like certain trends and words right now that people are like naming their band after, which I think was interesting. There's 130. By far the most popular album title was Home, with 130 releases using that title,
Damn.
up from 115 in 2016.
Jesus.
And Atlas. They said Atlas is once again the most popular band name on Bandcamp, with 77 artists using that in their name. In terms of new bands, Apollo for some reason there's 13. Grim has 10. Bloom, Indigo, and Nova all tied at 3. So I don't know. It's just interesting article. Like in some of the album titles: Home, Lost, Memories, Void, Waves, Reflections, Blue, Dreams, Bloom, and Love. It's like almost like Jesus Lizard song titles, but are like just like 4-letter titles or like simple titles, but also just all those are very I don't know, like dreamy almost, nostalgic, super interesting. There's something else about this that was like the main point. They gotta go to the blog post. Okay, I don't know. I just thought this stuff was interesting. But something about tapes, like they were saying. Okay, so they said 17,872 tapes were released on Bandcamp this year. That's an average of almost 50 per day, or one every 29 minutes.
Holy shit.
That's like insane when you
That is insane.
break that down. Like, I hadn't felt like that. I discovered the 500 bands set up a Bandcamp page every day. That's crazy too.
I think this is the super noob stuff.
Oh, cool. Sounds cool. 500 bands set up a Bandcamp page every day. Is that true? That's insane. And those are active pages with music. 500 bands per day set up a page.
That's why no bands get record deals anymore. That's why, yeah. Not to not to like put it in the toilet or anything, but like that's why playing music isn't special anymore.
Well, that's why I think it's got to be something, and I think everybody here can share this, is it's got to be something that you want to do because you love to do it.
Yep, totally.
This is awesome, Super Noob. I'm digging this.
I like this for background.
Yeah, this is dope.
I like that kind of crackly loop, that whatever that sound is that's going on in the back there too.
Cafe said that they're going to use blooming instead. Turn off that blooming radio because it's a synonym for blood. Bloody. Magic and one or two more. There are literally thousands of song titles. Huh. Just me using instruments. It sounds great. Very cool. This was on the 414, huh? Love it. So 2017 artist sold 22 years of cassette-based audio. That's about 17,000 kilometers of crunchy tape. You could wrap it around the moon and still have enough left over to spool gently off the back of a raft as you travel the entire length of the Amazon River. That's insane. I don't know. These stats are like mind-boggling to me.
I fucked this up. What happened?
So I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. I just thought it was an interesting article. I was kind of hang around the cassette, one of the cassette Reddit subreddits. Because a lot of people have questions about 4-tracks that I try to help them out with. But I think we're gonna maybe making a cassette recording subreddit at some point. The music sounds like it'd be in a video game. Yeah, this would be great music. Where do you guys go to find good music?
Punk shows.
Yeah, I think you gotta just hunt around.
Bargain bins at used CD tape record outlets. Grab shit that looks cool.
Yeah, I don't know how into like Spotify and that kind of stuff is, but it's pretty good at suggesting similar artists too. If you're not up for the hunt.
We used to go to like Rhino Records and just pick through like the shit bins basically, and
Yeah.
like if it looked like a cool CD, we'd take it.
Yeah, I remember doing that too, like with CDs and going to like Kim's in the city,
Yeah.
making special trips in just to go there because they have a great fucking used CD selection. So crazy, man. So crazy how different things are. I feel like we sound really old.
We used to skip school and go do that shit. That's
Yeah,
a
this is
long
awesome.
time ago, dude. I gotta step out for a minute.
Cool, man.
That was.
We're playing some tracks from Super Noob. Oh, you guys bumped it. You guys bumped it. Cool. Yeah, so that's awesome. These are recordings made in cheap reel recorders. Yeah, I'm feeling this. Thank you for sharing this, Super Noob. This is really cool. Great. I like that it's something I haven't really experimented with much on the channel, but having some kind of background music on some of the videos I think would be great. Do it like you would at Blockbuster. Just pick the ones with the cool. Yeah, there you go. That's always a good way to do it too. But yeah, check out that Bandcamp article even just to see. It's just super interesting. I don't know. I just found the whole thing to be mind-boggling. And I'm not really sure what to make of it either. You know, it's like kind of interesting. And there's just some cool stats. Bandcamp, I'm just reading some of the thing here. Yeah, so a lot of interesting stats there. I don't know if we posted this link. I'll put it in there too. Capro's coming in. He's hungry.
What?
That's the art. That's like the full article. I think you guys want to check it out. It's an interesting read. But yeah, that's something I came across the desk. Bill Jim, you got to be a moderator to post links. Great, I'll check it out. Only mods can. Sounds like it could be on the Ninja Tunes label. I've never heard of that label. Yeah, guys. Well, I don't know. Any other questions? Things that have come across the desk?
Yeah, I'm
Anything
digging
like
this.
that? All right, Bill Jim. You gotta come through more often. All right, we'll make you a moderator. Here you go, bro.
There's something very like vintage and endearing about this, even though it's sort of like it goes off and comes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's cool.
This reminds me of like
You're
listening
crushing
to
it, Super Noob.
like old like 78s and shit.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I like it.
It's like I really appreciate it. Like I feel like I would love to try to make music like this, but I just wouldn't be able to. It's like I don't know. I love it. It's awesome. It's like something I feel like I can appreciate from afar, but if I tried to do this, that's why Super Noob is here hanging out. So thank you for sending that in.
Yeah, I like it.
And don't forget, bump it on the
Bookmarked.
thread too, man.
Bookmarked.
Very cool. Yeah, that sounds like good music to get some work done too. Yeah. What else is going on, guys? Just gonna check the audio one more time. I don't know. I guess I'm a little obsessive about it now. We just used to have so many dropouts on here. Seems like
Bill, Jim, there are
better
no
now, I don't
duties
know.
to be a moderator. You just have to be a regular and
Yeah.
in the yeah,
I think I edited.
in the usual mix.
Yeah.
Edit who?
Bill Jim's been around the channel for a long time. I gotta say, like,
Well, I mean, I don't know. Give him a wrench.
yeah,
then.
threw him the wrench. So
Oh, you gave him one?
yeah. So basically, if you see somebody just getting out of control in the chat, I mean, we have a lot of mods on this channel, but
I'm not seeing his wrench.
Oh, that's weird. It said remove moderator. Let me try. Let me try taking it off and putting it back on. Hold on. Maybe I have too many. I don't know. Add moderator. All right, check it out now. Try it now. Yeah, your name will be blue when it works. The
Yeah,
blue with a little wrench.
not seeing it.
That's weird. Yeah. Oh wait, that's your old message. Try again. There
There
you
it is.
go. It worked this time. Cool. There you go, Bill Jim. But yeah, so basically, like as a mod, I think you can like put people in timeout, and not that everybody's really great on this community and in this channel, and Capro's yelling at us. But yeah, basically, like sometimes people get out of control in the chat. Ow! Or some people come through and we'll talk about conspiracy theories about people in the band from Woodstock, and like just ban those people. That's all. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously though, people come through with oh Capro, come here. People come through with like just start starting shit in the chat. So you see it going down, just But you don't really need to do anything. If you got cool links you want to post, do it to it. I don't know. I think that's pretty much it about the mod thing, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. I don't know if there's a limit.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like that 70s kind of spacey elevator music. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the vibe I get. Nice, dude. We'll check it out. Oh yeah, I can't play it through here because maybe Jake can bring it up. Oh man, Capro is sitting right there. It's so funny. I didn't realize he was in the shot. Oh yeah, so I was in Scotland last week. That was really dope. Making my way out to the UK a little bit. And actually Steve, a patron on the channel, he lives in Glasgow. You've probably seen him, or Glasgow.
Yeah.
And I was kind of chatting with him a little bit. I didn't really have too much. Oh, I haven't had service once in a while, but we had our phones on airplane most of the time. But yeah, we were talking about maybe meeting up, maybe me signing his 4-track, but the stars just did not align. But it was a fun trip, so it was cool. Scotland's a really beautiful country, and we had a blast. And it's great, cheap flights out of the airport around here, so maybe you got them in your area as well. Yeah! Capra doesn't want us to go again, though. He gets too lonely. Yeah, what else is going on? That's what I don't get anymore, like, really, is, like, back to that Bandcamp thing really quick, it's like, yeah, like, there's just so many bands, it's like, it's insane. It's really crazy, like, how many bands there are. Because that's something I wonder about, too, like, 500 active bands a day adding stuff to the site, like, that's nuts. I guess that's worldwide. I don't know. I don't mean to sound hung up on it. Cool. It's just a boggling those numbers. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think that's like we were talking about with PR. I think a couple weeks ago. That's kind of the big thing today. You know,
Well, that's
it's
why
almost like you got to play that game.
you have to play that game, because there's 500 bands a day signing up for Bandcamp.
Yeah,
Something has to set you apart,
yeah,
or someone has to help you stand apart, I guess.
yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. It's like, um, as a band, if there's 500, you know, doctors in your area that show up every day. I mean, obviously not your area, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of an analogy. Basically, like as a being somebody in a band, it's like if you're not, you gotta just do it for the love of it. Because if you try to do it for blood or for you know, trying to make something out of it, I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought here. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I can't think. Can't think what I was gonna say. I'm like super jet lagged still from my trip, so I'm actually feeling pretty good right now. So that's cool. Yo, that's some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so man, I can't think of what I was saying, man. I was trying to I had a good point about that stuff too. Oh, here we got some comments coming in. Can't take music seriously anymore. Just don't get too trigger happy. Thank you for sharing. You do an amazing work with your videos and tutorials. I would try to get tuned in. Oh, thank you so much, Super Noob. Thanks for coming through. Greetings. I don't know if you're our first Argentinian live streamer, but you may be. I think we've had some South American peeps coming through before. So thanks for coming through. Thanks for sharing your stuff. Thank you to Bilgin as well. Yo, there are some cool bands from Scotland. There should be a big battle of bands. It could be like Highlander. There can only be one. That's amazing. Cafes, you gotta come through on these streams more often, my friend. This is solid gold all night. I'm hungry too, Cap, bro.
Yo, this stuff is fucking up my train of thought.
Yeah, I think that's
gotta
what it
pause
is.
it. I gotta pause it.
Mr. Nano, what up? Your heart's got to be in it. Yeah, I'm always with problems with the Tascam because no one's getting rich off it anymore. Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to be for the love of it. Did you
I'm gonna
eat some good
bookmark
food?
this
Yeah,
later,
there was
too.
some really good stuff in Scotland. Just the food is so much fresher, and I feel like whole food or like really good food in Scotland. It's like such a smaller, I guess, country in terms of like comparing to the U.S. It's basically like the size of a small state. So you know, like the U.S. I don't know. I don't want to get too like, fuck it. Like the food here is like compared to Europe, it sucks. Like every time I've been to Europe, it's like, oh my god, I feel so much better. I feel like, well, not this time. I feel like I gained weight this time, but usually I like eat the same amount and wind up losing weight, or I feel a lot better. It's a lot smaller of a food system and a lot more localized of a food system, and really fucking solid food over there in Scotland. So thumbs up on that behalf. Um, it makes lots of noise even with DBX. Try the tape, Mr. Nano. That sounds like a tape issue. But you have Monster cereal there. um, what else was I gonna say? I had Monster. Wait, what's Monster cereal?
I don't know. It sounds scary though.
What kind of tape should I use? It sounds like the tape. If it's making a lot of noise, even with DBX. How old is the tape that you're using? Oh, Blueberry. Yeah, we got some crazy cereal here. Monster cereal. I like that. Maybe a future band name or song name. What the hell was I gonna say?
Cafes, you
This
like
is
the blueberry cereal?
It's killing me.
Have you tried it?
Chrome Type 2, yeah, are you recording hot enough? I don't know, but I have tapes from a pack like brand new from the 90s, huh? Okay, so maybe it's not the tapes. Yeah, I would say Cafes is onto it. Chrome Type 2, and are you recording hot enough? Are you recording quieter stuff? I know some of your stuff's a little more quieter or a little bit on like the laid back kind of vibe. Could be a noisy channel. Is it across the entire machine? Is it on like just your, have you cleaned your heads recently? Fuck, man, I had like a really poignant thing to say about the whole band thing before. Oh, I know what it was now. Bad solder joint. Yeah, Belgium coming through with the instrumentals knocked me off my train of thought.
Catface, the noise that it's making, what kind of noise is it? And is it intermittent?
Use the restroom.
Or is it hissy, staticky stuff? Or is it hum?
Well, it's Mr. Nano.
Oh, it's Nana? Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm off the chat. Alright, yeah, Mr. Nano. So, same question. Is it just hissy, noisy stuff? Or is it, it's just like hiss? I would make sure that you're gain staging properly. You're using a preamp in front of your 4-track. Because if you have your gains cranked on the preamps, it's going to be noisy as hell, no matter what kind of tape or what kind of noise reduction you put on it. And the highs from the tape when I bounce just go down. Dynamics too, huh? Yeah. So if you're losing highs and you're losing dynamics, there's some sort of issue with the way that the tape is capturing. Then there has to be. But it's interesting that it would be hissy, which is generally sort of a high-end phenomenon. But then it would print when you bounced sort of dull and also lacking in dynamic. I would switch to different tapes. And before you put a new tape into the machine, I would make sure you clean it good one more time, clean the heads, or clean the heads with alcohol again, just to make sure.
Sorry for the grammatics.
The pitch control goes crazy. How? Does it run away? Like it goes fast out of the blue?
Yeah, you never know. That's true. Sorry, I don't mean to come in the middle of the conversation. But yeah, you never know with these old tapes.
If the pitch control is going crazy, there's got to be some issue with the motor control logic then. That wouldn't account for the hiss necessarily, unless the tape speed was slowed way down for some reason, but you would know that already. So I would run that tape speed higher, turn your pitch control all the way up.
Weird. Does DBX on affect bouncing in any way?
Well, it'll bounce back through the DBX. Oh, I guess they're asking if...
Yeah, that's
Right.
what my inclination was too, Matt.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, Jay, I don't know if I showed you this or if you noticed. I don't know. Look right here. What's behind me?
Thing I told you about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Told you.
I got a new arm. Jay suggested. For.
Do you have the stop nut too, so you can
I think
change
so.
its position?
I don't know.
No. So next time you come to the studio, or if you remind me, a mic stand lock nut will let you change this.
Oh, dude, yeah.
However you want it.
Yeah. So is it like this thing?
Yep. But
Oh,
but
okay.
you want the thinner version so that it doesn't
You have
take
an
up so
extra
much
one?
space. Oh yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah. I got
We're just looking at this arm I have over here.
plenty of those.
I was asking Jay about a solution for. We wanted to do more overhead tutorials with the phone, just like this, as like kind of not B-roll, but rather than having the camera set up, I want to have a setup. So I have this new thing here, shelf here that I showed off in one of the vlogs recently that I'm using now. It's like a keyboard stand. I got this set up and then like a little shelf my buddy Bill had. But basically, I'm going to use this over there and do some overhead shots with that. So it's like a mic stand arm or like how would you describe it? It's like a
Well, it's a podium mount with a
Jay hooked me up with the idea. So.
with a fixed cam adjuster.
Yeah.
You basically back the knob off, and it lets you adjust the tilter like a cymbal stand. Then you tighten it back down.
It's dope because now I can just hook up the iPhone, or I actually have my old iPhone 5. I think that camera's decent on. So like, if I need another camera over there,
And if you really wanted to get crazy with that thing, you could extend it straight out
yeah,
and put the head of a boom stand on it
right.
and be able to oppose it and change its
That's a
length.
sick idea
and,
too.
You know. Well, the beauty of all this stuff is that like mic stand adapters, ways to adapt things to mic stands are readily available for anything you want to hook to a mic stand. You just have to dig, through
Monopod.
eBay and stuff.
Is that what?
What?
Cavi said monopod. That sounds familiar.
I don't know what a monopod is.
Oh. Yeah, but I'm super pumped about that, Jay. Thank you so much for.
Yeah.
I meant to show that to you. It's just so funny how something just like simple, like $10 thing, it just like makes my fucking life
Well, the nice thing about that is when you unscrew that, it's basically
nothing.
it's just a little flat
Yeah,
thing
that's
there.
the only thing I was probably gonna have to paint it. Doesn't matter though.
So paint it.
Yeah.
Paint it with a little foam brush. Then you only got to paint it once.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited. We'll be checking out some new. If you see some cool overhead shots in the upcoming vids, you'll know how we did it. Yeah, it happened to me back with Mr. Nano thing. Yeah, switch cassettes and see the problem. Yeah. Yeah, that's something I realized about. Okay, so the Bandcamp thing, I thought about it more when I was in the restroom. I remember what my point was. Like Jay was saying, you gotta have some way to stick out if you're trying to do it, because we're not as musicians. If you're not doing it for the love, and you're doing it as like a business or as like a trying to do something with it, like you're not providing value to people that they can't get like anywhere by just like flicking a switch. You know, it's like, well, that's not a great analogy, but basically, there's no value in what you're doing anymore because there's so many people are doing it. There's so many musicians. So it's like, unless
Well, I think it's harsh to say there's no value. I think it might be more fair to say that you have to figure out a way to
value-
provide a different amount or a different value.
well, that's, and I mean,
through the
I
thing.
guess that's kind of
Yeah.
that's what I meant. I didn't mean to
Right,
sound as harsh.
right.
That's actually exactly what I meant.
making music fucking stupid. What's wrong with
No,
you?
no, no. I don't think it's stupid. I just think it's like
No.
I'm really just talking about myself here, honestly. Like, because for a long time, I didn't get, because like as you probably know, like I was really hoping to do something with the stuff I was doing, and I just realized like, well, after a while, like I'm not doing anything that people can't get everywhere else from anybody else doing the same exact thing. So, I don't know. Like for me, I'm really just talking shit about myself at this point. Like, what I was doing was providing no value to anybody. That's why nobody was.
Well, I think that's the wrong way to look at it.
Well, because I had a fucked up view of what I was trying to do
Right.
with it. That's
Right.
like,
Well,
yeah,
that
I had an unhealthy relationship with it, So, but I guess my point is like, yeah, you have to figure out a different way to provide value to people that they can't get elsewhere from
Right.
the other 499
Right.
bands every day that are making a fucking account on there. I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Not trying to sound harsh, not trying to sound like a dickhead, but
Meh.
it's my own experience and my own shortcomings as an individual. So didn't mean to put that on you.
So Catface is asking about my DBX compressor.
Oh yeah, get one of those.
Which one? Which DBX compressor, Catface?
What was that? What is that little one?
163X.
Don't you have like one that's like a?
It's a half rack, 163X. That compressor tends to be quite a bit on the noisy side. I keep it around mostly for bass DI because if you need like a big fat rolly bass, it's perfect for that. I think if I was going to compress a kick drum, I would
probably choose an 1176 if I had one in the rack over that DBX, definitely.
160A.
Oh yeah, that's still on my website, huh? I parted that thing out, actually. The 160As are kind of like a vanilla compressor. If you're looking for character, I don't think I would necessarily look there. If you're looking
This
for
guy you had?
no,
Oh, this one?
yeah,
Regular guy.
yep.
This
Yep.
is like the
I
Swiss
gutted
Army
it.
knife.
I
Right?
gutted it and used its chassis for something else. Yep.
Oh, I remember a question I wanted to ask you. Alesis, fuck, what is it called? I feel like you would know this. So Alesis came out with like a reverb unit after the Nano Verb or Quad Verb that was like a standalone desk unit. It kind of looks like a drum machine.
Oh yeah.
You know anything about those?
Yeah, I do. They're basically fixed program. They're kind of cheesy sounding. You can get them for around $150 though. They're kind of cool if you want to just play around with out of the box reverbs.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about because I did.
But
the
they're
video
like
on the Yamaha.
you could get like a Nano Verb or something and do almost the same damn thing.
Right.
It's really,
Oh, Alesis Wedge. That's what it is.
Yeah, right, the wedge.
I just thought that was interesting because they said they were marked down wherever they were sold, and you can pick one up for cheap because it's basically like, I don't know, not a piece of gear. It wasn't like a rack gear unit. It was kind of a flop.
The 500 series module of the 160A is super cheap. The 1176, the whole deal with that is all the buttons in, you just nuke the shit out of it, and it really puts some hair on the sound, which is really not something the DBX 160 is aces at. Let's put it that way. The 160s are awesome if you're doing vocals, or I mean, I've used it on kick and bass before, but it never really was like the shining thing for me. I think for most people those end up being sort of a utility compressor when you have to have one, especially going to tape.
You ever seen one of these guys?
Sure.
I wanted to get one of these, but they shot up in price like crazy.
Yeah.
Talking about the DBX 165A compressor limiter. Since we're talking about DBX compressors. I feel like all those old like DBX ones are now like
Even the ones that were meant for hi-fi are not cheap anymore.
right. It's crazy. Yeah, have you ever used a distressor?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Don't
What's
like
up
'em.
with that, Jay?
Don't like them. I never found that to be.
Tell me more. What's the
What
deal
are
with
we
it?
talking-
I don't know anything about it, so I know it's a compressor.
There's a lot of producers and engineers that swear by
I
those
see
things.
it everywhere. I see
Because
it
it
everywhere.
has like the nuke function, basically, like the all buttons in kind of function, but
It's just like smashing the shit out of
but
stuff.
it doesn't add the hair that the 1176 does, which is what people try to claim that it will do for you. I used to mult the mic on my snare drum. I would send it through two different preamps from the same mic, and the brighter of the two preamps, I would always run through the distressor, just nuke the fuck out of it, and then blend the two back together in a box. And it was all right for that. It just gave the top end a little something, but I don't know, for what they cost. I
Yeah,
would never
that's the
own
thing
one.
I think is not.
I would never own one for what they cost.
Between like the price and the hype, it's like
I would, if you're looking at anything like that, you could buy one of those Hairball Audio 1176 clone kits and build that for, less than $1,000.
I saw this 1176 clone that. So I met this guy on Instagram. He's got a studio, I think, in Alaska. And this one, I was going to ask you about Clark Technic. Is this what you're talking about? It's like a really cheap.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's like, I guess they're coming out with more and more units, or
Well,
different companies are coming out with cheaper versions of.
right. Well, the Clark thing is like they used to build delay units and shit for like Stadium PA and things like that. But I didn't even know they were actually still a brand. That's interesting.
Yeah, this
The-
guy was really raving about. He's like, You know,
Could be cool. I mean, at that price, like,
saying like this is one of the best things.
but you
we've
know,
gotten.
that $499 is about where those Warm audio clones used to be.
Right.
So this is just the next version because Warm is up to like $900 or $1,000 for their 1176 clone now.
Oh, really?
I think so.
This one, right? WA.
It's a WA76, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's only 600.
demo for $539.
Yeah. Dave had one of those. It was all right.
What do you think of it? Well,
He used to
the
use it
interesting
on
thing
Kick
about
a
Warm
lot.
Audio, I think, is that there's some connection with Alto, our local music store. I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
They're distributed them, or they're like the main distributor of them at one point, or one of the guys is like part of the company. From what I understand, it's like one guy, right? Like making these.
I have no idea.
Um,
All right, so
but yeah,
let me jump back
that.
in here because we're gonna run out of time.
Yeah, we should wrap it up.
So, just to knock out these last couple of questions, Bill Jim asked, "Do you think old school miking and sound systems for live recording sounds better than modern day? And what exactly is a PA?" Well, a PA in its simplest form is a microphone feeding some sort of preamplifier, feeding a power amp, feeding speakers. That's a public address system. It could be as big as you could imagine or as small as it needs to be. There are Bose columns that you put them on the sides of a stage for like an acoustic duo kind of show, and it sounds three-dimensional and huge. But if you put them with a rock band, they're not enough. So maybe you need giant cabinets for the rock band. I think modern day everything has gone, all the control surfaces have gone digital. The amplifiers are digitally controlled and they have a digital power section, which makes them lighter weight, a bit more reliable, but much more difficult to fix. So I'm not sure that the digital move has been the greatest thing. I'm a big fan of analog consoles when it comes to live sound because you can feel the functions and you can sort of like, the ear to eye coordination or ear to hand rather coordination. I know what's happening in real time. I don't have to tell it to go and then hope what I just selected is the right thing. So yeah, personally I prefer analog, but the digital, the Class D power amps with their lightweight are cheap, so they're disposable if they break, which is good and bad, I guess. So I would go with an analog console and Class D power amps for the weight, and then I would size the PA cabinets for the room. But PA cabinets have gotten better, I think, over the years because the design software has really come around. It's not just guys with slide rules taking their best guess at it. There's actually like established digital provable algorithms for designing things now. So it's streamlined the size of the cabinets and the efficiency and directionality of the woofers and the drivers, the horns too.
This is fascinating, man. It's like completely out of my wheelhouse.
Well, I mean, essentially you plug something in to something that makes it louder, and then you give it something to be loud out of. That's what all a PA is, right? But yeah. So I think like I would take like a 32 or a 40 channel Allen and Heath board over a Midas or whatever over a Yamaha digital monstrosity just about any day. But and I like manually patching my outboard and compression and stuff, all that. So yeah, I would take analog front end with a digital back end and modern cabinets over just about any other possible combo. And I guess I'll leave it there.
Cool.
That's what I think.
Great question.
Yeah. If you have any more specific questions about that, though, if you're trying to like spec a system for something, we could talk about that too.
Oh, twin, what happened? Too many cars? What's going on, my friend? We're actually just going to be wrapping up we're doing a lot of exciting things this episode. I thought a PA was someone you sleep with on the sly. What is that?
Personal assistant.
Personal assistant, yeah.
Yeah.
For like a movie, right? Or is there another meaning there?
No, there's personal assistants for your everyday life. If you decided that like doing the live stream on Wednesdays was way too overwhelming, you could get a personal assistant. You'd pay them like $20 an hour to, I don't know, do basically all the shit you don't feel like doing.
Right.
Pretty much the personal assistant's job. Filing paperwork, basic accounting.
That would be nice. Mike, are you Capro's PA? Yeah, Capro runs the show around here, man. He does.
All right, so we're at 9:05.
Yeah, man. I'm on. Well, I really can't use this excuse because Cafe's is still here, but I'm on Scotland time.
Yeah.
Cafe's is chilling in Ireland, so I mean, I'm fucking blasted from jet lag. But yeah, I would say because we've been going hard for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I think we can call it.
All right, guys, it's been great. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that we're streaming. Took a week off. Got the ducks in a row, re-energized. Podcast, that was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Thank you all. That was a historical moment. We're gonna get that phone number set up so you guys can leave us some voicemails and ask questions or just like record like an intro outro for the show or something. It's gonna be really cool. I'm really excited. I haven't been much into podcasts as I used to be, but I think it's just another cool way to find some people interested in channel, and I think it's just a cool thing. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've talked about it a lot on the different streams, and I was like, a lot of things were pushing me toward like, hey, make a podcast. So I figured, hey, it's
There you go.
literally the same thing as we're doing right now. So
Yeah.
so if you want to check that out, hopefully it'll be up tomorrow. I'll let you guys know though on the Instagram or whatever.
Word.
Email me 424recording@gmail.com. Email him
operationaudio@gmail.com.
Like,
subscribe.
Yeah, like
hit
us
the
if you like it.
forum,
Hit the forum up.
And make sure you do something you want to
Yeah.
do each and every day.
Hell
Stick
yeah,
it to
it's
the man.
important. It is important. It's very easy to get sidetracked and start doing like not living your life because of the things that you want to do. So that's kind of I'll have to get into that more in a vlog at some point, but where that whole thing originated for me. But make sure you do something you want to do,
Yeah.
even if it's just drink a glass of water, eat a piece of bread, watch a TV show for a half hour. I don't know.
And once
Simple
you've
shit.
done that, eaten that piece of bread and had that glass of water and watched a TV show, it's not a bad idea to try to maybe aim higher tomorrow. Avocado toast that bread.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And on
Just
that
do
note,
whatever it is, do something you want to do.
we'll
Yeah, hit
catch
the
you at the
Patreon.
same bat time on the same bat channel next week
Heck yeah.
and scope that podcast.
Heck yeah. We'll keep you updated as to what's going on with that. Thank you for bumping the Patreons. Cafes, appreciate you, my friend.
Yep, thank you.
And here comes Late Bro. Twin, we'll catch you on the flip flop, my friend. Everybody,
Make
thanks
sure
for coming
you,
out.
yeah. Tune in next week
Tune in next
when
week
the boys will be back.
with a brand new podcast. Episode 2 coming at you.
And a brand new edition.
This is cool saying the sign off. I'm usually the guy turning the camera off. Later, skaters. We'll catch you on the flippity flop.